cloud institution. So cloud institution is the best software training institutions. Okay. So as part of this, in today's video, we're going to see about another very interesting and very important an Azure DevOps topic, that is organizations. Okay, so what is Azure organizations? Okay, so before diving into this, we are going to see about what is Azure organization and how to create an organization and why we need Azure organizations. Okay, so now let's go back and see that what is Azure organization. Okay, so Azure DevOps, in Azure DevOps, in the organization is called as a top level container that holds all your projects and related data. Okay, so it acts as a logical grouping of your software development activities and allow you to centralize managing of the things, users access control and billings. Okay, so essentially is the umbrella under which which your various development projects resides. So what do you mean by this one? Okay, so let's go back to our dashboard. So let's say for example this is Azure DevOps. Okay, so Azure DevOps. Okay, so inside this what we do is what we have is so we have multiple um, so we have multiple organizations. So organization, what is organization? Okay, so let's consider like this, so we have only one organization. Okay, so this is kind of a top level organization. Okay, so it's like a organization. Okay, so under organizations, we can have multiple projects. Okay, so multiple projects. Okay, so we can have multiple projects like on the is related to Git. Okay, so we have multiple projects. It comes like this. Okay, so let's say for example is a project one, project two. Okay, project 2 and project 3. Okay, so we can what we can do now is that we can create a repositories inside, so we can create a multiple repos inside each organization, sorry, each project. Okay, now as you can see here, I'm creating a multiple um I'm creating multiple repositories under each project. Okay, so this is how the structure will looks like in Azure DevOps. So in Azure DevOps, now you can ask me that, so this is the project one. Okay, so now is sorry, is the repository one R1 and is R2 and R2 and okay, so this we can say is like R3, um, R4, so something like this, right? So now we can have R5 or 5 or 6 or 6. Okay, so each under this one we can have a different projects. Okay, so it can also be become R1 and R2 as well, right? So because this particular project will have a repository one, repository two, and this one will be having a repository one and repository two, just like this. Okay, so what is the advantage of what now is if you can just ask me what is the organization and what is the advantage of organization is that organization is the top level layer. Okay, so wherein the projects will be that comes under it, and we can also create a multiple organizations. So wherein all the projects and repositories should be grouped together in a single organization. Okay, that's what the top level layer is. As you can see here, so in Azure DevOps, organization is the top level container that holds your projects and related data. All right, so this is what called top level layer. Okay, under that project is there. Okay, now we are going to see how to create other organization. Okay, now first of all what you have to do is that we have to go back to our organization folder. Okay, so now what we can do is we can go and create we can create Azure DevOps. Okay, click on Azure DevOps and click on create new organization. Okay, so we already have organization. Under that we have one project. Okay, now we can create a new organization. Okay, now I'm going to click on continue with organization. Okay, so the organization name is going to be, okay, so Cloud Institution Test org. Okay, so this is the Cloud Institution Test org is the organization name which I'm going to create. Okay, so this is asking me to create KDC, C X probably. Um, yeah. Okay, so taking to your organization under DevOps organization. Okay, so you can also create a new project. Okay, so inside that, what you can do is you can create a new project. It can be public or private. So we can create a new project called project one, project one. Okay, so create a project. So what we can do, what's happening now is that, okay, so the project one is there, right? So now we can go back to organization level. Okay, so this project is created. All right, so this is the default project which has been created for this particular organization. So now created a organization. Okay, so now we can also create a project too. Okay, now as you can see here in the diagram, we can create an organization. Okay, after that we have already created a one project by default. It will be created by default one project. Now we can also create a project two. Okay, so if you create a new project, you can click on new project. Okay, description if you want to give, it's optional, and click on private. So then you can create. All right. Okay, so now we can go back to the organization. You can see two projects. Okay, project one and project two. Right. And then under that, we can also create the repository one and repository two. All these things we can create. Okay, we can see that our repositories maybe later, but we know that what is organization, right? So organization, I'll be showing you like how this organization will be created accordingly. Okay, the repositories we can also create. I'll show you in the next video how to create a repositories. All right. So now we have created organization. Okay. So now what we can also do is that so we can click on organization settings. Okay, if we go to the organization settings, if you want to delete the organization, whatever you wanted to create, so for example, if you want to delete the organization settings, you can also see the projects. If you want to delete the projects, you can also delete. You can also click on the two projects. You can also delete the project first of all. Okay, you can confirm and okay, delete. So there is no projects currently is there. Okay, if you can go to organization. Okay, so there is no project is currently is there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that I'm also going to delete this organization. Okay, so I'm going to delete this organization. Okay, so recently this is a project is showing in the backside, and here I'm going to delete this organization. All right. So now what I've done is that so I'm going to delete this organization. Now it's going to show me like this. Now we can go back to the project home with the Azure DevOps portal. Okay, so now the organization is deleted. Okay, so now I have cloud institution org, and then the another organization has been created. All right, so this is how we'll be creating the organization, and you're deleting organization and creating a projects, all this stuff. Okay, so in the next video we're going to see about how to create repositories under an organization. Okay, so see you again in the next video. Hope you like this video. Okay, if you like this video, so please like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are going to post a lot of different videos, in the upcoming days. Okay, please stay tuned for all the videos, and see you again in the next video.